Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Source. College football week 4. We got a Friday night game, some Big Ten action here. Wisconsin on the road in Purdue. Line was Purdue +7. It's actually down to 6. We'll talk about that in a second. Total sitting at 54.5. Let's go.
Welcome to The Source. The Source. Source. Hey, get the Source.
So like I said, this line was at 7, but everyone hammered Purdue at 7. Dropped down to 6 early in the week, and for a day or two, it looked like the action was going to start to swing towards Wisconsin, but it actually doesn't. Public and Sharps are still hitting Purdue, even down at 6. Really curious to see what this line does as we get closer to kickoff. All right, so the first few weeks of Ryan Walters' tenure as Purdue head coach haven't exactly gone to plan. We're talking about a guy who built one of the best defenses in the country at Illinois as defensive coordinator. In his first 2 home games with Purdue, Fresno State and Syracuse, they scored 35 and 39 points on them. Something to keep in mind though, Illinois defensively was ranked 120th the year before Ryan Walters took over. Then his first year as DC, they jumped all the way to 30th. So they saw a huge boost in production right away. But if you take a look at that season, it actually took a few games to get going. Illinois defense was not looking great 3 games into the season, but look what happened from week 4 on. 33.7 points per game allowed drops to 17.1, allowing 150 total yards less per game. So by no means am I writing off this Purdue defense already after a couple bad games, because if you rewind to 2021, Ryan Walters' first year with Illinois, they did the same thing and they completely turned it around. I also want to mention that I think Fresno State and Syracuse both have extremely undervalued offenses this year, so I'm actually pretty confident in this Purdue defense under Ryan Walters moving forward. Which brings us to the question, what do we think of this Wisconsin offense? And shit, man, that's a good question. I really didn't know what to expect with Luke Fickell taking over here. What we've seen definitely hasn't been overly impressive. First, we saw the Buffalo Bulls come into Madison, Wisconsin, and run the ball for 4.1 yards per carry on the Badgers defense, which is kind of just nuts. I mean, for years, we've seen teams come into that stadium and struggle to run the ball. Minnesota, 2.6 yards per carry in Madison last year. Michigan, 2.5 yards per carry in 2021. Now Buffalo comes in and runs it for 4.1 yards per carry. I mean, not exactly enticing. But whatever, it's week 1, it's a new head coach, they won the game 38-17, they didn't cover the 28.5 point spread, but it's a comfortable win, whatever, let's just shake it off. But then in week 3, Georgia Southern comes into Madison and hangs 455 total yards on this defense. And you might be thinking, well, those probably came in garbage time. No, Gasso was actually winning the game 14-7 in the third quarter. Now, Wisconsin did finish that game with 28 unanswered points, so once again, maybe we shouldn't read too much into it. Could have been a look-ahead spot. Maybe Wisconsin was eyeing up this division matchup against Purdue. Who knows? I just don't love what I'm seeing. One positive we have seen from the Wisconsin defense so far is their trip up to Pullman to play Washington State. Against Cam Ward and that offense, they held them to just 333 total yards, just 2.5 yards per carry on the ground. They lost the game 31-22, but that was not the defense's fault. Wisconsin turned the ball over 3 times and gift-wrapped this one for Washington State. So maybe Wisconsin's defense just isn't getting up for these lesser games. So how do they match up against Hudson Card and the Purdue offense? Hudson Card's been okay this year. Not excellent, but certainly not bad. By Purdue standards, these numbers look kind of weak, but keep in mind, this is a brand new era in Purdue football. Jeff Brom is gone. The days of dropping back to pass 40-plus times are in the past. This is Ryan Walters' team now, and Purdue's been leaning a lot more on the run game than we're used to seeing. Now, here's something I want to point out. You might be looking at Purdue's schedule, looking at this game against Wisconsin and thinking, wow, this is going to be Hudson Card's toughest test yet, the Wisconsin defense. That's actually not the case. In fact, both Syracuse and Fresno State had higher ranked pass defenses last year. And both Syracuse and Fresno State brought back more returning production on the defensive side of the ball than Wisconsin. And Wisconsin's got a new DC for the first time in forever. Jim Leonard was running that defense for 6-7 years. He's gone. So even though this may look like Hudson Card's biggest challenge so far this season, I disagree. I don't have a ton of faith in this Wisconsin defense, especially against the pass. I think Card's going to have opportunities to make plays down the field in this game. Now, can we count on Purdue's defense to do a complete 180 in week 4 the way Illinois did under Walters in 2021? No, that's just crazy, but I think we are going to see this defense start to improve. And for real, we got to start asking ourselves, what has Tanner Mordecai showed us? I mean, he hasn't really showed us much of anything yet. Just 234 yards per game, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 128.3 passer rating, which is terrible in college football, less than 7 yards per attempt, and unlike Hudson Card, He's playing Buffalo, Georgia Southern. I mean, Washington State is tough, I'll give you that one. But the other two, Buffalo and Georgia Southern, you should not be struggling at home against those defenses with Wisconsin's offensive line protecting you. That's unacceptable. As far as when I'm betting, I like Purdue in the points. I wish I took it at 6.5. I saw it drop from 7, and all the books had it down at 6, and I saw FanDuel still had it at 6.5, and I was like, should I grab this? And I decided not to. Now I'm wishing I did. But I'll still take them at 6. In fact, I would probably take Purdue anything 4.5 or higher. So I'm on the Boilermakers here. Give me Purdue +6. If you want my top bets, parlays of the day, if you want to join the Discord, or if you want to get in on the against the spread competitions, last week's winner got a signed Drake London mini helmet. This week's winner gets a signed David Montgomery jersey. So if you're interested in any of that, head over to KyleKirms.com. All the information is right on the homepage. College football week 4, absolutely loaded weekend. So many good games. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.